Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Marsha Nixon-Powell. And we're going to be discussing her amazing memoir, I'm the Healthiest Sick Person I Know, available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and a whole host of other places. People simply type it into a Google search bar and you're going to be greeted with all of it. Keep in mind, this book, this is not the only book that Marsha has written. While you're searching, you're going to come across 3 other books that you're going to want to add to your shelf, all just as remarkably beneficial. Trust me when I tell you, man, Marsha is doing some things. It starts with I'm the Healthiest Sick Person I Know, but there are 3 other ones that you're going to want to take advantage of as well. And before we go any further, I want to take this opportunity and point out the fact that Marsha was brought to our network by one of the best publishing firms in the business, Citi of Books. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process and now you need help moving the book you just developed, well, look no further than Citi of Books, people, because this is exactly what they specialize in. Head on over to citiofbooks.com and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And people, listen, strap in, okay? During today's discussion, and especially when you pick up her book, you're going to discover the extraordinary journey of resilience, hope, and transformation. When I tell you Marsha is the absolute embodiment of a person of distinction, I mean it, okay? Her powerful memoir unveils her courageous battle with cancer and the powerful lessons that she's learned along the way. From some heart-wrenching lows to triumphant highs, her story is a testament, man. It really is a testament to the human spirit's ability to turn adversity into strength. So whether you yourself are seeking inspiration, comfort, or even a fresh perspective on life's challenges, this book is going to leave you moved and motivated to embrace your own journey with courage and grace, man. I'm telling you, Marsha is going to say some things here today that is truly going to open your eyes and help you formulate a new perspective on the challenges you face every single day. Sit back, strap in, have your notebooks ready, and trust me when I tell you, we're only scratching the surface here today. So by the time we've concluded, be ready to run and purchase copies, okay? Listen, at the end of the day, it's Marsha's life. She's lived it. She's going to be able to articulate it all much better than I ever could. Marsha, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Benji.
Of course. Listen, we're thoroughly looking forward to this. Marsha, what you've done here by comprising this book, and I know, well, I don't know, I'm assuming, but I think it's safe to assume that as you were writing the book, it wasn't solely about getting your story out there. I'm sure a part of that was, but I believe you knew ahead of time the amount of benefit your story could serve to others. And I believe that that was a big part of the inspiration. But rather than continuing to assume, Marsha, let's go directly to the source here. Why did you feel compelled to write this book?
I really felt that it was necessary and that I really wanted to write it because I'm a Philadelphia native. Mm-hmm. And I live with my family in Northeast Philadelphia. And it's been over 25 years that I have been a cancer survivor. Wow. And I just really wanted to get my story out to readers and just to rehash what I've gone through over the past 25 years. And the thing about it is, I've been a business owner. I started off with a daycare in my home with children, babies on up to the age of 12. And it was a great experience. And then from there, my grandson was diagnosed as autistic. So he was about 3 or 4 years old. And, you know, I thought, and it was so much that they did for him, helping him with early development, speech, and all through the school system. And it just really floored me to see the progress that he made. And I was like, you know what? That's something I would like to try to do. So I went back, got a degree at the age of 52, and applied for a job as a BHT, Behavior Health Technician. And that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. So it's so nice that I had the chance to work as a professional and personal experience dealing with children, you know, with special needs. And also I work as a home caregiver, and I've done that. I took care of my mom for like 3 or 4 years, and she had kidney disease, which went on to like, you know, stage 5. And so, you know, so I helped her, and by helping her, it helped me. And so as I, you know, continued helping my mother and going through things, you know, I talked with family and friends, and I was able to get input. And it was like, you know what, just really feeling the love and helping, you know, helping people and getting advice. And having my mother, I was able to keep her in her own home. She didn't have to go into a nursing home. And it was, you know, it was just beautiful. She lived right downstairs from me. So I was able to take care of her on a daily basis, just went through everything with her. And it just gave me, you know, just gave me so much pride and happiness to help her. And so, so after that, and, you know, I started, like I said, I started working with children, and I just, over the time, after I had cancer, then I went through, I also ended up getting kidney disease, type 2 diabetes, and I found out later that, you know, ran through my family and everything. But a lot of times I tried not to let it get me down.
Yeah.
And so my story is pretty much just growing up in Philly, just the joy, going to high school, finishing school, you know, I became, you know, secretary, went to business school, and just, you know, just as fun. That's what you want to try to make life all about, because you can always, it could be different, but I try to enjoy my life, and that's what I've been doing. And I said I had the chance to sit down and put this in a book form. And it just, you know, it just really, just, you know, just really lifted my heart and going through the journey of what I was going through.
Right. You know, Marsha, thank you very much for articulating all of that. And my follow-up question that I want to go into is because, listen, I'm hearing you speak about your journey. And I remember when you and I were speaking on the pre-screening call, it correlated as well, because as I mentioned in my opening, through your discussion with me, like, your memoir, although it's filled with some of your darkest moments, it's not a dark book. The book is meant to be uplifting. It's meant to inspire and motivate. Well, you know, listen, I mean, you hear the big C, right? You hear the word cancer. And, you know, listen, people, I know a lot of you listen out there right now. You've either been diagnosed with cancer yourself, or someone in your family or someone around you has. The statistics are alarmingly high. Well, when it comes to that diagnosis, interestingly enough, I want to pose a question that may come across odd, but you're going to understand it once I pose it. Once you receive that diagnosis, were there moments where you felt that cancer, despite its challenges, despite its complications, almost gave you a gift in a sense? It was allowing you to formulate a new perspective on things that maybe you would not have discovered otherwise. Is that fair to say, or a fair categorization?
Definitely so, because when you first hear it, you know, like you think this is the worst that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Because I was, 45 when I was diagnosed. So, you just like, ooh, is it over or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. And like I said, I had excellent doctors, great hospitals. I went, through chemo, surgery. I mean, you name it. And I went through a lot, had to take time off from work. And this is during a time when my daughter was just starting to go to college. And she was going to college out at Penn State, the main campus. So she was nowhere near me.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I didn't want to tell her that because then she wouldn't want to have gone.
Yeah.
But I also was going to say I have, 2 beautiful daughters and I have 1 handsome grandson. And it really makes you appreciate life and, with your friends. And I got so much help from, people because, as I can say, this was before we had ride share and all kind of ways that food was being delivered. You didn't know sometimes how you were going to get around and things of that nature. So I had a lot of people helping me to, on my journey. And it's just been, it's been beautiful. And I can't believe it's been since 1995.
Wow.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
And, but I really appreciate it. And then, like I said, it helped me now that I'm feeling much better. I'm able to help my grandson and help other people along their journey that they may have, different ailments and diseases and emotional things that they have gone through that, by me helping, being helped, I can help others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really try to do. And I try, be very inspirational. And after doing this is what I'd like to do next. I would love to be a motivational, inspirational speaker for seniors because sometimes they need it more than others because you figure life is over, you're not working anymore, what am I going to do with myself? But I found there's so many things that you can do that, you kind of don't think of. And I did a lot of research. My book is my life story, but you also have to do a lot of research. And I can tell you, I think back to growing up in Philly. I went to concerts, and it was like I would see Diana Ross, I would see, Teddy Pendergrass, and all these different people at the Uptown Theater. And then just going on from there, going on my prom, working at my first job at Bell Telephone, which is no longer around anymore, but it's almost was the opening for Verizon. And like I said, it's been a great experience.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say one thing. My daughter, she is a mortgage loan officer, and she works in Philly, Baltimore, Delaware, and she is very good at helping people, first-time home buyers and people that previously had a home or real estate investors. And she's helped me with buying our home and things of that nature.
Love that. Well, people, listen, it starts with this book, all right? It's called I'm the Healthiest Sick Person I Know. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's a whole host of other places. There's 3 other books that you're going to want to check out as well. Marsha Nixon-Powell is not only a person of distinction, but she also breeds people of distinction because her daughter's up there too. So check it out. If you're looking to buy a home in those areas, if you're a real estate investor, just do a little Google search. You're going to be able to find a lot of information here, man. I love it. Keeping it in the family here and all so profound. Marsha, as we start to close out of this interview, we've discussed a lot of information here and a lot of very beneficial tips to be gained already. People, trust me, we've barely scratched the surface. There's still a lot left to be discovered. But as we close out, I'm curious to know, Marsha, if you had the opportunity to hop in a time machine and you were able to go back and you could give one piece of advice to yourself pre-diagnosis, what would that be?
I guess pretty much what I learned later is the most important thing is to staying healthy, is to eat nutritious, make sure you exercise. And I've been doing book signings, and I make sure I tell people read, stay focused, Get out in the world. Don't just stay to yourself, because that's what happens a lot. You know, you have things happen to you and you're like, oh, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do this. So I always try to make sure that I get out there. I do volunteer work. I work with the state representative in my neighborhood, and even being friendly with your neighbors, because you never know when you might need them too. So if I can go back, that's the main thing I would tell myself. I mean, I pretty much enjoyed my life, the schools that I've gone to, and I just always laugh and I said my life was almost similar to, I don't know if you remember the show, Everybody Hates Chris. And that was,
absolutely.
I was one of the few people that went out my neighborhood before they had busing, and it would take me almost an hour and a half to get to school and back home an hour and a half. So all that's mentioned in my book. And it's just like, wow, I was like, I made it through, you know. But it you know, it was fun, but it was like, wow, you know, I was the only one out of my neighborhood that went there. So it was just like a growing and a very learning experience, without a doubt.
People, listen, so many gems that she just articulated. And the way I interpret it, and you may interpret it differently, and that's wonderful. The way I interpret what she said is it all falls under the umbrella of making healthy decisions, living a healthy lifestyle. You know, depending on that village that's around you, cultivating those relationships is going to be a healthy decision, partly for your emotions, right? It's going to keep you in a positive light that way. Going to the gym and exercising is going to keep you physically healthy. It's going to make your heart stronger, your muscles build. Reading books, educating yourself is going to keep your mind healthy and continuing to grow. When it comes to food, man, listen, people, I get it. In the world that we live in now, where probably about 85% of the food that you purchase in the stores is filled with chemicals, it's filled with all this bioengineered processing. It's not the easiest to do. I get that. Doesn't mean it's impossible. Take some creativity. It also takes some financial backing, but there are routes that you can go where you can help lower some of the costs, but still increase some of the health benefits to be found. There is so much wisdom in what Marsha has articulated to us today. People, I'm telling you, you got to pick up copies of this book. Allow her story to be the catalyst of change in your life. Because I promise you, man, if you pick it up, you start to do that, you read in between the lines, because trust me, upon face value, this is just about her and her life and those around her. You read in between the lines, man, there are things that you're going to be able to take and implement into your lives and are truly going to help make a profound difference. So I'm going to say it again. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's a lot of other places. Really just head on over to Google, type Marsha Nixon-Powell into a Google search bar. You're going to be greeted with I'm the healthiest sick person I know, and her 3 other books as well. This is a start of something special. Head on over there, pick up your copies today. Marsha, this has been a true pleasure, an absolute delight. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Okay, thank you so much, Benji. I really, really appreciate it.